Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you to the Commencement 2023 of the Institute. The Commencement is about to start. The academic procession is now entering in the hall. All of you are requested to stand and remain standing till all the members of the procession are seated. Thank you.
Conferment and award of the degree Doctor of Science honoris causa by the Chairperson Senate and guest of honor will now commence.
The citation reads, Indian Institute of Technology Bombay, upon recommendation of the Senate, hereby confers the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa on Professor Rohini Godbole in recognition of her immense contribution to particle physics and the promotion of science. Given this day under the seal of the Institute at Mumbai, in the Republic of India, on the 2nd day of May 2023. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. Dr. Saraf, Professor Chaudhary, Dr. Kakodkar, the members of the Senate of IIT Bombay, and pardon me all, most important are the students who are commencing on a new stage in their life. And also their parents. Let me begin by first wishing you all the students all the best in the new path that you will be treading soon. Then let me also begin by thanking my alma mater, the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, for conferring this honor on me. I can't tell you how special this is. This is almost like your parents, grandparents, patting you on the back and saying, we are very proud of you. Please go on. So this is absolutely a very, very special honor to me. And actually, I realized this morning that today is 50 years to the day that if there existed a commencement, I would have attended that commencement here in IIT Bombay. But of course, as things were, there was only a convocation, so I didn't get an opportunity to get my degree in the convo, as we all used to call, and still is most probably called, and where I saw a lot of English films actually on every Friday. But I missed the opportunity of getting my degree and my medal in this convocation hall, but I think my alma mater has kind of made sure that I got that chance once again. So special thanks for that. You know, I must say that IIT Bombay is very special to my heart because one of the major reasons that I am here today doing theoretical particle physics is actually the time I spent in this institute. And I would still once again like to mention very specially the name of Professor S.H. Patil, who was a very distinguished professor at in the Department of Physics. And this just kind of tells you the kind of influence that IIT Bombay has had in molding generations of students. Here standing before you is just one example of that. You know, I left the institute about 50 years ago, as I said, but I kept on coming back like a bad penny. It was on both the sides. The institute also kept on inviting me. I was here, you know, because I have lots of friends and collaborators in the physics department. So the physics, which is the real bond, kept on bringing me back. Then with IIT Bombay, we had, you know, initially envisaged a series of what we used to call mini workshops in high energy physics, which ended up being workshops on high energy physics phenomenology. Some of them were held at IIT Bombay. Also the CERC schools in theoretical high energy physics, again of which I was a chair of that committee for 5 years and a member for maybe 15 years. We held a few CERC schools here in IIT Bombay, and that was sort of the beginning. But then the Distinguished Alumnus Award of 2004 of IIT Bombay was the first, to my heart, the dearest honor that I got, again for the same reason that it was from my alma mater. And as was already mentioned, I was a member of the Board of Governors, and I must say it gave me a little bit of a cheap thrill to be on the other side of the table than on the day when before we graduated, when we were sternly taken to task in my last year, because we all, it's a very bad thing I'm going to tell, but the entire class of 17 of MSc Physics 1974 had bunked one paper in electrical engineering. And we were sternly taken to task in the same room that we just spent a few minutes before, the council room of IIT Bombay. So one has had enormously wonderful memories, and I must say the most important memory has been when I gave a course of mini lectures on a minor course which Professor Raghav Verma of Physics Department had started, and I lectured to the brilliant minds who were doing engineering physics and kids who had no knowledge of particle physics or no knowledge of quantum mechanics, telling them about how do we find what's inside the matter. And I must say those were the most rewarding 12 Saturdays and Sundays that I had when I kept on coming here every weekend and lecturing to these students. So as you can see, I have had an extremely long connection with IIT Bombay. So coming here to receive this honorary degree has been more or less really coming back home, and I haven't felt any, any difference. I must say that in this intervening 50 years, IIT Bombay has moved from glory to glory. We heard a lot about it in the talk by Professor Subhashish, and I can tell you that in the 5 years that I was a member of the BOG, sitting on the dais here, I have heard equally exhilarating stories from Professor Devang Khakar. But the other aspect in which IIT Bombay has also, and all the IITs, but IIT Bombay has moved enormously, is the presence of my gender on the campus. When we were in a class of 17, 3 girls, and that was amazingly large fraction. And in fact, it was also good that 3 of us were in the top 5 in the class. But today, you know, the ladies' hostel had 52 rooms, 26 on the first floor, 26 on the top floor, and they were all not full. And the boys' hostels contained roughly, 300 students per year, so roughly 1200 to 1500 students. Compared to that, today we have 2 ladies' hostels, much bigger number of girls. But I want to compliment IIT Bombay not just on the numbers. I'm hoping that they will go on increasing. But the real important thing that I want to compliment IIT Bombay on is that they have realized that equity, gender equity, does not lie in getting numbers alone. Numbers are but a symptom and not the cause. So there is actually very very nice efforts and processes that IIT Bombay has put in place. One of them was the Gen Zero initiative, where they actually celebrated a few of their alumina from the early years, and they shared their amazing stories. And currently, I happen to know a little bit because I am the chair of the advisory committee for the gender advancement initiatives of Department of Science and Technology. I know that the efforts that are being made at IIT Bombay are actually standing as an example for other institutes. So apart from reaching the heights of science and technology, I think this institute has been also tirelessly working on equity and inclusion, and not just the gender equity. And I hope that positive slope continues, because we need to be not just technologists and engineers and scientists, but we need to be also responsible human beings, and trying to achieve equity and inclusion is one of the most important aspects that we need to pay attention to. And I am very proud to be an IITian, and particularly a member of IIT Bombay, where all these things are progressing, to my mind, on with equal speed. And as they say, Godspeed IIT Bombay. And last but not the least, let me come back to my student friends and tell them that following Professor Chaudhary, I would also quote Vivekananda, Uttishtata, Jagrata, Praptavaran, Nibodhayata. But the important thing is, what are your aims, targets that you want to achieve, that he is referring to? Let your mind and your heart decide that. Don't let anybody else tell you what you want to do. And also, don't let the comments that come from a human or anybody, any other source to you, don't let them be colored by the gender, the race, the language of the person. And all speed to you in all the paths that you will choose, by saying that let me hope you all a lot of success, and wish that your feet tread on the paths that your heart desires most. And in the process, that's what happens, in the process, you will definitely reach heights and achievements which can only enrich the society that we live in, whether it is the local society or the global world. It's all the same. I'm sure it will be all to the good. Congratulations again, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much again. Good.